It's not playing the game. It's winning that counts.
Yeah, baby. We're going to go out there and win.
This is Just Win Bets, baby.
Just win, baby.
With Joe DeFan and Shane O'Mac.
How do they keep winning?
Live on the Sports Bet Winning Network.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Just Win Bets, baby, on the Believe Network. Joe DeFan, Shane O'Mac with you on a Wednesday with a 1 hour banger lined up today. A really fun show as we will hit a lot on the NBA Finals Game 4 tonight. We will look back at what took place last night's game in the Stanley Cup Finals, Game 4, as we look ahead to Game 5 as the series shift back to Carolina. We, of course, are joined by Goon, Adrian, the Drunken Goon, as he talks a little about World Cup soccer and his best bets for the tournament. The show, of course, brought to you by Pickett. If you bet on sports, you know it's hard to keep track of everything. Your wins, losses, promos, and which sportsbook is actually giving you the best odds. Pickett. Become smarter and more organized in sports betting. Shano, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm going to do now. I haven't worn this in a long time, and you can see it's old as you know what. Probably older than our producer Mark. Okay. I'm putting the hat on, and I'm wearing, for those who are listening on our podcast, you can catch the show, of course, on your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Believe, Amazon Music. You can catch them anywhere you get your podcast, my friends. I'm putting on my Knicks hat because I'm putting my coach's hat on. Okay. So what I'm saying to you, and this is directly to Cat, you need to show up in the fourth quarter, bro.
He does, man. He's been non-existent so far.
OG I'll tell you this about OG. OG doesn't care. He'll go right through Wemby, and Wemby always falls for the fake. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he just, once he fakes him out and then he drives to the basket. I like it. But Brunson can only do so much. Get Cat the ball. You did it with the Philly series. You did it with the Atlanta series, in Cleveland series. Get him the ball, please, Mike Brown.
I agree. He's the X factor in this whole series for the Knicks. They have to give him the ball, and he's had some big games so far this series, but non-existent down the stretch when it comes to it. Luckily for them, in the first two games, Brunson stepped up and became the man that the Knicks want him to be. But yeah, Cat needs to step up in the fourth quarter. He needs to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And what Wemby are we going to get tonight? I mean, Wemby came out pretty strong. He was a little physical. He wasn't as physical, in my opinion, in the first two games, but game 3, he came out swinging. You know what I mean? And, I mean, obviously he scored over 25 points. I think we have one part of that parlay. We didn't hit on the under, so that's why we didn't hit on that 3-game parlay. But that being said, I'm leaning again. I don't even know. I mean, if you're going to bet props tonight for Wemby, I say it'd be more of an in-game, more of a live bet, because you don't know what Wemby you're going to get tonight.
He had 32 points last game in game 3. I mean, he had a pretty good stat line there. He had 32 points. He had, I'm looking at it now, eight rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 blocks. I mean, he always gets blocks because he's 12 feet tall when he puts his arms up. Sure. Right? So, yeah, I agree with you there, though. I think this over-underline was set the same as game 3. I think it's around 27, I think it was, 27 and a half, 28. Right. So I think I agree with that. Wait till live, see what happens. Or if you wanted to do it, bet it down and then take the over, because you can always take over 20 or over 25, something like that.
Yeah, and well, I also like the over in the game there, Shano. They listed at 216, and most books right now are having it at -2.5. We got it in at -1.5 for the Knicks, and we're taking the Knicks. That's our official play here. But again, Brunson can't do it all. Cat, show up, my guy. That's all I'm saying.
He needs to, man. He needs to. They get him involved in that fourth quarter. Down the stretch, they got to get him involved. He's the X factor. They got to do it.
Jeez, Cat. Come on, bro. Wake up, my guy. But if you're looking at, let's talk about MVPs, and I know I'm talking a little ahead of myself when it comes to MVPs of the finals. My vote is on OG. I mean, you could say Brunson here and there, but OG, bro. I mean, I love his game, the way that he's playing.
Yeah, OG's playing really well. in the NBA, it tends to go towards the star player. So
Right.
I think Brunson probably will get it if the Knicks hold off and win this thing. Right, it's not over yet. Anything can happen. But I would probably go to him. But OG's been playing really well, man. I could see him. I'm trying to look at what the odds are right now for MVPs. I know we can't bet on that in Virginia, which sucks. So I'm trying to find another sports book here. Brunson's the favorite right now, plus 105. Victor Wemby is at plus 160. Cat is at plus 500.
That's testing.
OG is 20-1 right now. 20-1 for OG.
That's not going to hit. I mean, he should win it, but that's not going to hit. You mentioned Wemby with his long arms. Man, he's got the Inspector Gadget go-go arms. You know what I mean? And no one's stopping that alley-oop. No one's stopping that, dude. Every time.
He's already 7'4", 7'5", and then he's got an 8-foot wingspan. So when he puts his arms up, his hands go above the rim. You ever seen him stand in front of the rim and put his hands up?
Yeah.
Without even jumping. His fingertips are higher than the rim. You can't stop that guy on an alley-oop. You just can't.
What do you pay? I mean, I know I respect, of course, Kareem. And Kareem, of course, is famous for the sky hook. I mean, that was unstoppable. No one could, once he got in his groove, boom, money, automatic. If you're Wemby, do you go to a Kareem? Because he's got the frame for it, right? Yeah. And teach me the ways of the sky. I don't know, man. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Kareem or anybody else. I'm just saying, there's other players in the past who've done that they've talked to the dream, Hakeem Olajuwon. So,
Wemby with the sky hook would be dangerous, dude. That would be, no one could stop that thing.
No one could stop that. There's nobody stopping that.
You can barely block his shot now. And if you throw a sky hook in there, I mean, no one's going to block that thing. He would be unstoppable. It would be, it would be like Kareem. He's second now because LeBron passed him for all-time points.
Sure,
but if he got that sky hook down, I think he'd be going for LeBron's record.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But we'll see what happens in tonight's game. All I'm saying is, and there's not going to be a watch party either. There, Shano. The mayor shut that down.
I wonder why. Like I get last game because the president was there, but why wouldn't you want it there? I mean, such a cool atmosphere. I guess we're probably worried about crime and people doing stupid things if they win or lose. I mean, people do stupid stuff, right? So maybe that's it. But it's such a cool atmosphere. We had it here, I talked about it with the Caps here in DC. They did it right outside Verizon Center back then. Now it's Cap One. Right. And it's such a cool environment, and the fans that can't afford $10,000 tickets to get into the door, they feel like they're at least part of the action,
I noticed one more thing when we were. I was watching the game the other night. There, Shano, is that the crowd didn't seem into it. It seemed like when the fourth quarter showed up, they just felt flat. That's my opinion, and I'm going based. I wasn't there, obviously, but. That's what I saw. Don't get me wrong, it's a good series, and it's a great series with the Stanley Cup Finals, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I just felt that maybe it was, look, it's 2-3 hours of security, and you have to go through it, and you're just coming off work, etc. And maybe you're just like beat, dude. I don't know. I don't know.
It's a long night too. I mean, because the game didn't get over till what was it? I was after 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a long night, and like you said, it's a weekday, so most people are working, and I think it's kind of a downside of having basically all your lower level being like celebrities, right? Yeah. Because they're not going to get as enthused as like your regular blue collar man working a job, like coming off and gonna drink like 3 or 4 beers, and then get out there and make some noise. I think it's just a different atmosphere.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's shift gears real quick to the Stanley Cup Finals. Well, the good news, we cash on the over 31.5. And Caesars, by the way, this is where we made the bet. Caesars would really appreciate it if you could just honor the bet. I mean, it definitely went over. There's nothing they can do. They can't review it and say, well, we need to go back to game 2 and take 2 goals away. Can't do that. So just honor the bet, cash it out, as my good friend John Malkovich said in Rounders, paid it to man his money.
I guess they're waiting for the series to be over because it's a future bet. But I mean, it pay it out.
Okay, how did
pay it out?
How's it different if a team was have an over under on if they had an over under in regards to
like total games or something?
Total wins.
Like, oh yeah.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
so if you have like 50 games and you win it's 78 games, whatever. I'm just making numbers up here. Why pay it out? And they pay it out.
Yeah. Maybe they're doing some bad math over there at Caesars.
Yeah, there's some people I know who do a lot of bad math. Trust me. Trust me.
Maybe they can't count. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, but it's already over, which is crazy in 4 games. That many goals have been scored. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like when we were talking to JD on the show, and he was saying, he's like, yeah, short series, a long series, and we all said long series. And he's like, that's why I kind of like this bet. And then, and I was like, yeah. Then I thought it would hit, game 6. It's like when this would hit, not game 4. That's just crazy.
Well, that's what he asked us in the beginning, my friend. If you'll recall, that he said, "How long do you think this series is going to go?" And we said 6-7, right? Yeah. None of this 6-7. My son told me, Dad, it's getting old. I wasn't. I was just joking. Anyway, so yeah, it was definitely going to go 6 or 7 games. Now it's definitely going 6. So, but it's a moot point. We win.
Yeah.
What we didn't win, Shano, is. I did put a little pizza money on the under 6. That in no way that was.
I told you stay away from the totals.
I know. I know. But we won on the money line with Carolina.
Yes. We had Carolina money line. That was at what, -110, I think, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
-105. It was a coin flip pretty much for both teams. So we hit there. And I did tell you historically the under hits in that situation, but I was like, with these two teams, the way they're scoring, I'm staying away from it. I'm not touching the totals anymore unless I see over 4.5 or something like that. I'm slamming the over. But for tomorrow's night's game, it's at 6.5.
Ooh.
So 6.5 total. Carolina right now is -155. I see on the money line. So Carolina's big favorites here, and I kind of see why they're big favorites. I was doing some a little bit of research today.
Right.
So they are in favor in the past 3 games with a 54.9 expected goal percentage, which is pretty good, right? So they're getting a lot of goals, but they need their goalie to step up, man. In game 3 against, let me pull up the stats here so I'm not just spitting dumb things here.
Right.
But in game 3, Vegas scored 3 goals at one point. It was like 3 goals on only like 15 shots or something like that on goal. So that's just not good enough, right? It's not good enough. So they need their goaltender to step up. They need their defense to step up. That's the one concern I have about the Hurricanes there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There is a prop bet I like for tomorrow for Stanley Cup. I think he's
go
due.
ahead.
Jack Eichel, he hasn't scored yet in this series. He plays for Vegas.
He's due.
He's due. He's got 20 high. He's got 20. What does it say right here? He's got 20 high danger scoring chances so far this series and hasn't scored yet. And that's a lot. So, I mean, that's what we've had 4 games. So he's had 5 on average per game. Mm-hmm. That's a lot for not getting any goals in. And he's a decent goal scorer too. I think he had 27 goals this year in the regular season, which was tied for 3rd best on the Knights. He led the team in points overall. That's goals plus assists. I mean, he's one of their best players. I think he's due. I think that's a pretty solid bet there to put some money on. And that's sitting at like plus 230 right now for Jack Eichel to anytime goal scorer.
What are your thoughts before we go to break here, Shana? What are your thoughts on our future ticket here? 10-1 for the Vegas Golden Knights. It's of course 2-2 in the series. If the books are saying that Game 5 is probably going to go to Carolina here, catch out.
I like Carolina. I like Carolina in Game 5. I know I said zigzag series, but I think Carolina it showed me something last night. I like Carolina in Game 5, but I think Vegas wins Game 6, and it's all going to come down to Game 7. But Game 7's in Carolina, right? So I think for sure this series is going 7, and I think that's good for the NHL because this has been a fun series to watch. It's been a great series. It's been a great series. Not if you like defense and goaltending, it's not a good series. But if you like goal scoring, it's been a great series to watch.
That no question about it. I mean, and again, we're talking about the month of June, and really nothing happens in the month of June. It's just kind of like a dead period here. But now
World Cup this year, though.
That's right. So now we have, of course, the two great series in the NBA and the NHL.
Yeah, both these series have been awesome. Both of them. The NBA and the NHL one. I both have been super entertaining. And I don't want it to go away because once the World Cup ends, then we're just stuck with baseball again until football starts, and that's the low part.
Yeah, exactly. And we're also going to have UFC Freedom 250. We talked to our good friend Rob Nakamura last night, and man, I mean, I agree with him, man. Just put the politics aside, put everything aside, just enjoy kind of like somewhat of America's birthday. I know it's not the exact day. Come on. I don't want letters or emails saying, well, it's not the exact day here, Joe. Okay, I get it. Jeez Louise. But and that you know what, Chano, that really bothers me. It doesn't really bother me now anymore because I'm like, whatever, dude, I don't care. But it used to bother me where it's like they always have people on social media. Well, technically, no, it's not. I'm like, shut up, dude. You don't have anything better to do.
I agree with you 100% with that, man. And when they announced this card, I was like, when they first announced it, about a year ago or so, maybe.
Yeah.
And they said it was going to be on 4th of July, and then or around there,
right?
And you can't hold it on 4th of July there. It's just so much going on in DC 4th of July weekend. We live in this area. For the people who don't live in this DC area, I mean, it's this crazy town downtown. I mean, because you got the fireworks that go off right by the Washington Monument. You got tons of people coming in to do like all the celebrating America's birthday, right? So it's you can't do it that same week. It's just too much already going on. It would just be like it would be chaos. It would be chaos to add an extra event there.
Yeah, absolutely. You had brought up, of course, the World Cup, and we will be live. Brad Betts Footy and myself will be live tomorrow, 10 o'clock a.m. live on YouTube, on X, on Believe, you name it. We will be live. We have already our first guest will be Marcel Dorff will be on with us. Looking forward to it. Shayna, we break the plan is to break down and kind of simplify how to bet on soccer. I know you've had some questions and others have some questions in the past of how to bet the three-way money line or how the two-way money line works with the draw no bet, the totals, the spread, the agent handicaps, and some of the do's and don'ts of when you're betting soccer, especially for the World Cup. You have to account for the travel. You have to account for the altitude of all of these places where they're going to be playing. The first two games, of course, is going to take place on Friday afternoon. First one, of course, is Mexico as they host, of course, South Africa, but they're playing in Mexico City. Both games are playing in Mexico. One in Guadalajara, which is, of course, in South Korea, and Czechova is going to be playing as well, and that's going to be a night game. So I don't see a lot of goals there, Shano. Catch the podcast tomorrow live, 10 a.m. Brad Betts Footy, myself, and we'll have, of course, guests throughout the whole tournament. Lock in, get your pen and paper or your phone or whatever just to copy down all the stuff. We'll have, of course, our best bets, in our newsletter. So if you need that, log on or check out our website, justwinbetsbaby.com. Put in your email, and, of course, it'll go right straight to your inbox.
You brought up the elevation there, especially in Mexico City. That is super high elevation with the air is thin, and Mexico is going to have a huge advantage there in that game because they're used to it, right?
Yeah.
So, because think about like in the NFL, the teams complain about going to Denver. Yeah. Denver's 5,280 feet above sea level, which is that's why it's called the Mile High City. Yep. And Mexico City is 2,000 feet higher than Denver.
Yeah, it's about 7,200, 7,500. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, dude.
Yeah.
So
and it's hot as hell down there.
And it's hot.
Yeah.
So and then also account for the travel. One of the teams, the odds-on favorite, which is Spain, are traveling a lot throughout this tournament. This is not what you saw last time in Qatar. Qatar is probably the size of Connecticut or maybe New Hampshire or something like that, where, you catch one match and maybe go 15-minute drive down the road to catch the other match. No. You're talking about places in New York to Philly, and those, you don't even have to live around this area. That's a 2-3 hour drive. You have to go from New York all the way to California. That's not a drive. You got to hop on a plane. That's 6-7 hours or wherever, I don't know if you get a connecting flight or a straight flight, whatever. My point is It's all over the place, dude. And I'm worried about Spain. I'm also worried about my chaps over in England. Most of the soccer games, or football games as people call it, okay, are played outdoors. England's first game is going to be indoors inside a dome. I'm not saying that's going to cause any problems. And a lot of teams are not really accustomed to playing inside a dome. Some do, okay, but some do not. Especially the smaller nations. So, there's just a lot of stuff that you got to get accustomed to. I'm going to wait for. I'm going to have plays, but I'm going to be a little conservative in the first, few days.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about the dome is that you don't have to worry about weather at all, right? I mean, it's gonna be 70 degrees in there or whatever, right? So you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, it is different. It is different for sure. And it's something you have to take account into. It's a whole bunch, like you said. I mean, it's like you said. I looked it up because I was curious. Qatar is actually smaller than Connecticut, but they said the closest
that would
size.
be nice.
It's really too. So I was looking it up. I was like, oh, is it that big? And I looked it up. It said it's 2 times larger than Delaware, and it's like 1,000 square miles smaller than Connecticut. So yeah, it's a totally different. Totally different thing, because you got Mexico games, you got games in Canada, right? Is there some games in Canada?
Right.
And then you're traveling all over the place.
Sure.
All over the place. And have you seen these guys on on Twitter and X and TikTok that are coming over from like Europe over here to the United States for the first time for the World Cup, and they've just been like traveling the U.S. and they're like, one of the first things they all say is, "Man, I didn't realize how big the U.S. is. We've been driving on this road for 5 hours and we're still in the same state." Right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I know a lot of people are coming over. Hopefully have a safe trip and enjoy the games, or excuse me, shouldn't say games. I apologize. Matches. So make sure that you enjoy
matches
all the matches. Yeah, exactly. But yeah. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get, of course, the Drunken Goon, which I love that name there. Adrian, of course, is going to be joining us next here on Just Win Bets. And here we go again. Of course, it is Just Win Footy Bets with our good friend, Adrian. And you can follow him on X at Drunken Goon. And he's going to break down some incredible matches that's going to be taking place here in the World Cup. How you doing, my friend?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about, of course, just give us a little background for our audience, if you don't mind, what service that you offer and where you're from, etc.
So I grew up in Romania, big soccer fan since I was a little kid. Moved to Canada about 35 years ago. I've been following soccer the whole way. Went to 3 World Cups. This one's gonna be my 4th. Big fan of the game. I also ref. I play the game, so it's 24/7 soccer for me.
Yes, absolutely. And I hope you have a safe trip, of course, going around this whole continent. And that's one of the concerns that I have. We'll start you off with this question, my friend, is the travel time. You take, for example, Spain, which is one of the odds-on favorites that'll be traveling to this tournament, but they're going to be doing a lot of traveling throughout the tournament as compared to others like Mexico or even the United States. Does that bring you as a concern to you in regard to any of these teams having, to kind of adjust not only to the weather, but to the altitude, to the environment, etc.?
Yeah, so there's 2 teams that have kind of circled. England's one of them. They have to go to Mexico City at altitude for a round of 16 game if it stays according to schedule, let's say. And then after that, they have to follow it up with the game maybe against Brazil in Miami. So going from altitude and smoke to heat and humidity and high temperatures, that's going to pose a big problem for them. Spain's the other team that has a bit of a rough schedule. I think they have 2 group games in domes, and then they bounce around LA to Dallas and Atlanta. Sorry, Atlanta to start the groups, and then Dallas, Kansas City, and LA. So it's a bit of a traveling conundrum for Spain. France got a better draw. They're staying in the triangle of Philly, Boston, New York for their group games, And if they win the group, their next three would also be in that area. So a lot less travel for France, advantage France if they end up meeting Spain in the semis, like the draw would indicate.
You mentioned, of course, Spain playing obviously in a dome, and it's usually soccer is usually, not always, but usually it is more outside, and stuff like that. And that's what I mean by the weather and stuff like that. And to get used to not only the humidity here in the United States or wherever you're at, if you're going to Mexico, you have to deal with the altitude. Again, this is something that really is concerning for me personally, especially when you're talking about sports betting. Does any other team have that type of issue that they're going to have to face?
Every team is going to have to deal with issues. For example, Bosnia, they have the longest travel. They're going to play in Toronto against Canada, and then they're going to travel to LA, and then up on the coast as well. So they along with Japan just changed camps from Mexico to Nashville because of issues with the quality of the fields that they had there. But they had the longest travel of the teams, at least through the group stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the games, of course, starting later this week. Let's, of course, or they already have, like I said, but let's talk about the futures, my friend. Let's get that up and running. And you can see, of course, the expansion now from the usual 32 teams now go to 48. And you could see here on your screen is the first 16 teams bringing from Spain all the way to Switzerland. And you can see the current odds. And of course, these odds are subject to change. But anything here that you like to kind of win it all or has an opportunity, or do you have a long shot for any of this?
So the odds for the World Cup have been open for basically the last 4 years. Coming into the World Cup, there might be changes, and money will dictate where the prices go. But I think a lot of the value has been sucked out of this.
Sure.
For example, I bet Canada just as a fan of Canada, 300 to 1, and they're down to 150, 100, 150 to 1 now. Same thing for teams like Norway and Switzerland. They've been bet down. Japan was bet down, and now lately they're moving back the other way. So there's been a lot of movement in the odds, but the firm favorites are still Spain and France at close to 5 to 1. One team that's actually a little bit of value to me right now is Argentina at 10 to 1. Because they have been a little overlooked or 9 to 1 on your board there.
Yeah.
In the last few weeks coming into the tournament, the narrative with Messi being old and everybody else having returned from a previous World Cup has them as an old team, but the truth is they've injected some youth in it, and they're ready to go.
I understand where Argentina is possibly one of your leans, if not one of your bets here, but you have to keep in mind, my friend, that no defending champion has happened, back to back. Since Italy, Brazil being, but these are years and years, long for a long time. So do you think the Argentinian team has an opportunity or has a good chance to defending that title?
Well, I mean, they're defending champions. They're also won 2 Copa Americas, so you can't really argue with their recent track record. The expansion of the tournament, making it 8 games to win it, makes it a little more difficult. I think they, being on the opposite side of the bracket for France and Spain, makes gives them a better opportunity to make it to the final, and in a 1-game scenario, anybody can win it.
We're here, of course, with our good friend Adrian, of course, and you can follow him on X at Drunken Goon. That's DRUNKENGOON. I love the name, by the way. Let's talk a little bit about the groups. Now, do you think of any of these groups, of course, ranging from Group A, and then again, it has expanded to Group L. Do you think of it as, is there a particular group that you think is the group of death?
There's the group of balance, I would say, with Canada and Switzerland and Bosnia. 3 good teams. Qatar hosted the last World Cup. Most people look at them as a team that doesn't have much to offer, but they've imported naturalized a few Brazilians, so there might be some surprises there. I think a bunch of groups could be balanced. It really depends on the approach of some of the teams. Again, the length of the tournament being a couple of weeks longer than it used to be, and the heat and humidity and the conditions in North America and the travel distances make it more likely that teams are going to rest some players, rotate, not just in the group stage, but also throughout the tournament, and plan ahead for a long journey. Some teams will plan to go game by game, and some teams will have the ultimate goal in mind. So a team like England, for example, we were talking about them going to Mexico City. What's stopping them from resting 4 or 5 guys, let them sit in Miami, wait for Brazil, and then take their chances with the rest of the squad in Mexico City? That could be a strategy that could pay off long term if you're looking to win the tournament as opposed to just going game by game.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. And again, if I asked another guest that was on previously, is that if you do win, for example, depending on the group, obviously, but if you win your first couple games, you have, of course, your 6 points, and you're already qualified. You don't need to play that extra game where, injuries are important. If you're a big nation, it's not really as important compared to a small nation. So you want to rest, like, for an example, you mentioned a Messi or Mbappe or what have you. Why, of course, put them through all these extra games or what have you if you're already qualified? Do you see what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah, and it might happen earlier. Like if you have a first game that's up, like you look at Brazil against Morocco, for example, the 2 favorites in their group, they play each other. Whoever wins that game, they know they have a softer game coming up. They might rest somebody in the second game and then have their lineup mixed or strong in the third game to ensure they win the group. One thing that has changed from the last World Cup, it's no longer goal differential that matters. It's the at least not the top criteria. So it's head-to-head criteria. So if you win that first game against another team that's highly ranked, chances are, even with 6 points, you will finish ahead of them, unless it's a three-way tie, and then other things come into play. So rest and basically load management, if you want to put it in NBA terms, is key to this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it's very interesting, and it's going to be. It changes a little bit, of course, as the traditional 32 teams. Now they expanded it to 48. So a lot of bets. It's no longer X amount of bets. You're going to bet over. It's going to be over 100 games that you can actually bet on. And that being said, let's talk about the groups. Is there a group that you like to talk about in regard to who you think will win these particular groups? For example, Group A or B or what have you?
Yeah, so let's start with B because we just brought it up earlier.
Sure.
I like Switzerland to win that group at minus 125. That price is available. It's probably good to minus 140 as far as I'm concerned. Canada looked really good on paper, and then in the last 6 months they've had a lot of issues with injuries. As a host nation, they have a little bit of an advantage with the facilities and everything else. But losing Bombito just the week before the World Cup is a big hole in their defense, and they're still without Davies, at least for the first game. So I think Canada defensively will struggle a little bit in this competition, and the Swiss are very, very methodical and capable of just picking teams apart. And they have experience against Bosnia in the previous qualifiers, and I see them having a good campaign, at least for the group stage, and win that group minus 125.
What about the Americans? I really don't see, and of course I'm out of the United States here, but I don't see the Americans winning that group. There's nothing. I have nothing to get. I hope America goes far. I hope U.S. does go far for the sake, of course, of the sport. But do you look at a team like a Turkey or anybody else that could actually get the 1 seed in that particular group?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Pochettino and the way he operates, at least this cycle with the American team. It feels like a missed opportunity because they've had a chance to put together a squad over the last 4 years, and he's been searching till the last minute, and some of the decisions made. Some of the more talented younger guys were left off the roster, and he made the safe selections to take this team into the World Cup. The fact that he's negotiating a contract, his contract expires at the end of the World Cup, so he's negotiating with AC Milan before the World Cup. It kind of puts a bit of a twist to how focused the coach is, as well as the team coming into the tournament. So Turkey, They did well in qualifying. They finished second to Spain, aside from getting whooped by Spain 6-0 in Kayseri. But they did pull off a draw in the return leg when nothing mattered. And then in the playoffs, they changed their style a little bit. They were very pragmatic, and they beat Romania 1-0, and then they beat Kosovo 1-0 on the road, which is the tough place to play. So this team has 3 young superstars, and then an anchor in Çalhanoğlu in center midfield. But the Turkish league has been investing heavily in foreign talent, and that has allowed the local players to develop and improve. And they have a really good group coached by Italian Vincenzo Montella, who kind of keeps the brakes on a little bit. That's the only concern. If he let his group go wild, they might be world beaters. But playing cautiously, not necessarily a bad thing in a different environment. But Turkey is a team to be concerned about in the US group.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, we're here with our good friend, and you can follow him on X at Drunken Goon. That's DRUNKENGOON. And make sure you give him a follow. Any other things that you see within these other groups? I know you touched a little bit on Argentina. Do you think maybe France has an opportunity to win it all, or sticking with the groups, of course? Is there a sleeper that you see coming out of any of these groups?
So I have a couple of group upsets in mind, and I actually ended up betting Morocco plus 500 to win the group against Brazil, Scotland, and Haiti. Morocco is a known quantity. They got to the semis last time, and over the last 4 years or even longer, they've invested a lot in development and technology, and the results are seen. They did well at the U20 World Cup. Their women's programs are developing, and with an eye on the 2030 World Cup, which they will be co-hosting, this team is growing at the right time, and they have talent all over the pitch, young talent that not everybody will know about, but they're capable of upsetting the big boys. Brazil is going to be Brazil. I think they will be good in the tournament, but it might take them a little bit of time to get off the ground, up and running. And plus 500 is a good price to take a chance on Morocco winning that group.
That's very nice. Yeah, I kind of like that. Even though I'm a huge Brazilian fan, I love the way that they play. Obviously, how they set things up. I'm not really a big fan of the long ball that they usually traditionally in Europe. Brazil, mostly, as you know, they set up. It's kind of like chess. They're setting up a position in order to actually set up for their goal as they try to score. Yeah, it'll be interesting, especially with that particular group, how they end up. Anything from the South African teams that have qualified to the World Cup. You take, for example, Egypt. Do you or even Ivory Coast, or what have you? Do you see any of the South African teams, Ghana, Senegal? Do you see them going? How far do you see them going?
So I'm actually attending all 3 of Egypt's games at the World Cup. So I'm excited to see them. I think they're a little old up top to make a push. They'll probably get out of the group, and that's an accomplishment because they have never done that before in any of the major competitions in the World Cup. As far as other African teams that can make a run, Senegal is my choice to make a run. This team, they did beat Morocco in the African Nations Cup last year until the decision went against them in the courts, and Morocco was declared winner. They open up with France, which is a rematch of the 2002 opener, which Senegal upset France 1-0. So this is a big game for Senegal to start with, and the team is quite mature. They have a lot of quality on defense. They have a standout keeper, and going forward, they have some firepower. So. Senegal, they might not beat France because I think France is actually the best team in the tournament. And price-wise, I wouldn't bet it where they are right now. But Senegal will compete in that group, and they can do some damage if they get out of the group and into the round of 32 and round of 16.
Very good, very good. My friend, before we let you go, is there any other bets? And also, where can our audience see your stuff and where they can follow you? Besides on X, what have you?
So I don't really have a channel that I publicized. I post my bets in a couple of closed forums. But anybody needs to bounce an idea off me, I'm always available to do that. Other bets that I have in the Dutch versus Japan opener, I have over 2.5 minus 102 on that. It's good to minus 120. Two teams that like to open things up, and it's the group decider as far as I'm concerned. And winning it is more important than drawing. And if you win that, you avoid playing Brazil or Morocco. So I expect both teams to be going for that. Openers are usually cagey, but I think between these two teams with their styles of play, it's a good play. I also have, I don't know if the price is still available, but I have Belgium dominating that group. And I have minus 220. It's probably good to minus 250 to win that group. New Zealand is very weak. We've seen they qualify against a couple of islands, and they don't really play a lot of quality opponents, so they will have a little bit of shock. Iran has had some issues with the visa. I don't think that will come into play, but their players, like somebody mentioned today, they haven't played any league games in about 3 months, so rust could be a thing. Although they did train as a team for the last 4 weeks in Turkey. So Iran, you never know what you're going to get with the political implications. I would really love to see Iran play US in the round of 32. But as far as challenging Belgium, they're not going to be a factor. So Belgium, Egypt in the opener, that should decide the group. And I think minus 220 is a good price to take on Belgium to win that group, down to minus 250.
Very nice, very nice. Well, Adrian, of course, thank you very much for joining the show, and have a safe trip throughout the tournament, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
This is Just Win Bets, baby, on the Sports Bet Winning Network.
It's always good to hear some soccer plays, especially someone like Adrian who talks about the World Cup and his plays. But, Chano, we just got this right across the desk here, my friend. It says here, Mahomes, the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, gets an extension. Chano, you've got the report. What's going on here?
So they are extending him through the 2033 season. God, that seems like so far away, doesn't it?
Right.
But it's really, what is that, 7 years?
Yeah.
7 years?
Yeah.
And it's valued at over $500 million, $504.75 million. First 3 seasons all guaranteed, and it's going to be about $64 million a year on cap hit there for Mahomes.
Oof.
Mahomes is a beast. He's really good, but when you start spending that much money, it's hard to put pieces around that guy, right?
I'm with you.
Right?
I'm with you.
And they already struggled. Like, they're not the same team ever since Tyreek Hill left, because they couldn't pay Tyreek Hill, remember? And then that's a lot of money. Now the salary cap does keep going up every year,
sure,
but I mean that's a lot of money still. And the other thing I have questions about Mahomes. Yes, he's very good. I'm not taking anything away from Mahomes. He's a very, very good quarterback, right? I would be happy to have him on my team.
Sure.
But he hasn't been without Andy Reid. How much longer is Andy Reid going to be coaching?
I have to agree with you on that one.
Right? Because Andy Reid is an offensive mastermind, dude.
He is, dude. He is.
Yeah.
he is. And I love his play calls. As a matter of fact, I'll be honest with you. A lot of it's not a lot, but some of the stuff that he did in Philadelphia and of course in Kansas City, I use as a coach, and because I'm an offensive minded kind of guy too. But yeah, Patrick is good. Don't get me wrong. Patrick is great. Okay. Perhaps maybe, and again, I'm thinking about the future, perhaps first ballot Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah. Okay? He'll be first ballot.
But I have to agree with you in regards to, well, first off, let's talk about the money. Guaranteed.
Yeah. First 3 years are all guaranteed.
The wife must be loving that. Just saying. But no, on a serious note, I don't see a lot of weapons that are going, I mean, is Kelsey even coming back? Listen, I'm not trying.
He's coming back next year. I know that. But
okay.
After that, he's probably done.
Well, he's getting married soon, and I believe speaking of Taylor, she's at the game, at the Knicks game, I believe tonight with Kelsey. But I don't know, man. If I was him, hey, I'm gonna retire, and she's making bank, dude. What is she rolling? What is she rolling in, man? $900 million a year?
Yeah,
it's got to be, dude.
I think Taylor Swift's a billionaire or close to it. Like,
okay, but if she goes on tour, she makes an album, and it could be trash out. I don't know. Okay, I don't know her music. I'm not knocking her at all.
Her net worth right now is $2.2 billion. Billion with a B. Billion. I would retire. I'd be stay-at-home dad. That's what
I'd be stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
Make a couple kids. I'm just saying, dude. Do your podcast with your brother.
Your huge pool with like a grotto or something in it, and like just chill there, play with the kids all day. Yeah, hell yeah.
You tell me you wouldn't do the podcast with your brother?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man.
He can still do the podcast. That's right. He can do the podcast though.
Okay. Listen. What does she make since you have it up? What does she make on tour? That's what I want to know. It's got to be at least $800 million. At least.
Her last tour, the Eras tour.
She's on TV now.
The last tour, the Eras tour, she didn't make it, but the concert altogether brought in $2.2 billion.
Okay, she's got to get a cut from that. Obviously, you got to pay your crew. You got to pay this, blah 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 blah.
The truck drivers, all those people. Yeah.
Let's say she pulled out of the two. Fine. Let's say out of the $2.2 billion, she pulls out $750 million.
Yeah,
at least. Only in America, baby. Only in America.
Let's look at that. Now I'm curious. How much did Taylor Swift make on Eras tour? Let's see.
Right. So I mean, it's got to be right.
It said her estimated take home is around $700 million. Oh,
there you go. Okay. There you go.
You nailed that one. You nailed that one.
Let's say you pay taxes, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Or you donate or whatever. $500 million in a year.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. If I was Travis Kelce, I would retire. I'd be sitting poolside. I'd be stay-at-home dad. I'd make sure the house is clean for her. I would do the cooking. I would do it.
No, you know what I would do? I travel with her if I have to.
Oh, it's
hey, you need head security? Got you. You could do the podcast from, hey, we're live here in Las Vegas, or we're in Paris, France, or what? Who cares? Yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, dude. Hey,
but then who's going to watch the steakhouse in Kansas City that he opened?
Oh God, get somebody else. Get somebody else to watch.
Him and Mahomes went in together. I don't know if you knew this, but they went in together and they opened up a steakhouse together in Kansas City. Mahomes and Kelsey. But
anyway, going back to his contract, and I agree with you with how many more years Andy's going to be there. I mean,
because he's got to be close to 70 now, isn't he?
He's definitely 65. Easy 65. I know you're looking that up. He's easy.
He's 68.
He's 68 right now. By the way, why I don't know why you have to keep looking it up. We need to have producer Mark start doing some stuff. I mean, come on. He probably is 68. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, he's 68. So like that's what concerns me for like how long this contract is. And like I said, Mahomes is a great player. I'm sure he'll figure it out. But there's always regression when you lose a coach, especially a coach of that caliber, right? I mean, Andy Reid has won everywhere he's been. He didn't win a Super Bowl in Philly, but he took him to 4 straight NFC Championship games. That's pretty impressive, right? Yeah, and he went to a Super Bowl with them and then lost. Sure. And then he went to the Chiefs. He was winning with Alex Smith. They didn't win a Super Bowl with Alex Smith, but they were in the playoffs every year, AFC Championship game, right? So it's. I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes can't do it, and it's not a good deal for the Chiefs. It's always better to pay your stars earlier rather than later, because if you wait and did this year, because I think he was still under contract, it's an extension. So if you waited until his deal was up, it probably would have been even higher. Probably would have been $600 million by the time he got this done. You know,
absolutely, absolutely.
7 years from now, how old will Pat Mahomes be? Like 37, somewhere around that.
35, 36, yeah, somewhere around that.
He's 30 right now.
Okay, so 37.
Yeah, so 37. So. Yeah, he could. I mean, depends on how long he wants to play. He can retire, or if he wants to be like Brady and play till he's 45.
I don't know about that. Why? Why put yourself through that? But that's
why did Brady do it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he did get a little confusing there. Remember when he was with the Bucks, and he's like, "Hey, Is it fourth down when it was like or fifth down? Like, dude, there's no fifth down, my guy. Come on now.
And you got Aaron Rodgers still playing. He's 44.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Some people just can't let go of the game, man. But it's tough. It's hard to do. I get it, but it depends. It probably just depends on his health and how well he's playing at that point.
Sure.
Yeah,
well,
crazy huge contract though.
That is definitely crazy. The Knicks, of course, just started off, and it looks like Cat got the message from me. He must have been listening to us in the locker room because he came out swinging, and he went right after Wemby. That's what you need to do, Cat.
That's what you need to do. And hopefully these refs, game 3, man, there were some calls that should have been called against Wemby that weren't called. Like there were some calls that like he was an obvious foul, and they just didn't call it on him. And we talked about this on the show last time where the Spurs had 24 free throw attempts in the second half. The Knicks had 8. And that's why Mike Brown was so pissed after the game at the officiating. Right. So you have to go after him early, because if you get him in foul trouble, the Spurs are not the same team.
Shano, you have a 4-2 Knicks future here. So you definitely need the Knicks to win here. Well, they don't need to, but it would be very good if they win tonight.
I think the Knicks win tonight, and that was our bet for the night, right? Was Knicks minus 1.5.
Yep.
I think the Knicks win tonight, and I think San Antonio wins game 5 in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And then it comes back to the Garden for game 6. And then I like my odds there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. Again, don't forget to check out our new podcast, Just Win Footy Bets. I'm with my good friend Brad Bets a Footy, and of course you can follow him on that at Brad Bets Footy. He'll be joining me, and we will be covering nonstop the World Cup. We've got the 2 games that are, of course, tomorrow, which is Mexico taking on or hosting South Africa. And Shana, I will give you that bet right now. Mexico, of course, it would look really good if they win. However, you got to account for the weather. You have to account for a lot of things. Now, if you look at the percentage, 21% when it comes to South Africa having a chance to win on tomorrow afternoon against Mexico, I don't see it happening. You could see, of course, Mexico winning. And Mexico, of course, I tell you what, I'm going to do you even one better, my friend. We're going to pull it up right now. As you can see here, Shano, it is, of course, the money line at minus 250. Currently, right now, I'll tell you this. I'm going to give you 2 quick bets here, Shano. I see it as a 0-0. That's 0-0. Okay. I see a 0-0 at halftime. They get used to each other, etc. I'm going to look up that price right now for 0-0 for halftime. But it is easy to say under 2.5 goals. There's too much juice for me at minus 152. You could do that if you want to, but again, you're not really getting a return of your value. What I would say is I see a 1-0, possibly a 2-0 for Mexico. And again, it's going to come down to the second half, 65th minute. That's where you talked about the altitude, of course, in Mexico, this taking place in Mexico City. I think that South Africa gets a little tired. So therefore, I think they have some gaps that are open, and Mexico scores here. So I see a 1 or 2-0 here. So win the 0, and you can get that at minus 105, courtesy of our friends over at Bet Rivers. But also, I do like 0-0, Shano. I'm going to look it up. But 0-0 for the halftime, not for the whole game. For halftime, I think they kind of feel each other out. But if Mexico does score, it'll probably be late in the first half. But let's see here for Mexico, South Africa, again, taking place at 3:00 tomorrow. We're going to go over a halftime, and you can actually go on your book, whichever book that you prefer. When you go to halftime, you go to correct score here, 0-0. It's at plus 165.
Woo!
Maybe put a little pizza money on that. And if, of course, I'm using Bet Rivers, but if you see DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever, you definitely want to try that out. Before I let you go there, Shano, or before I let everybody go for the night, let's talk about here a bonus bet. I'm going to give this to you. You want to log on to FanDuel right now, my friend. Okay. And when you go to FanDuel, you'll see something that's called a super boost. Okay. You'll see it. If you scroll, once you open the app, you'll scroll over and you'll see something that says super boost, where it says the Americans who are taking on Panama. And it says plus one total shots. Okay. One plus, right? Total shots against Paraguay. It is, it has a minus 10,000, but the super boost is at plus 101. It depends on how much you've used FanDuel. While they love me, obviously, so I definitely put a pretty good unit on it. I put $25 on it because there's no way that USA doesn't take a shot on goal. That's easy money, free money right there.
That's
so
free money.
Free money. I don't know if you see that right now or not, Chano, but
I'll pull that up. I was trying to find out where win to nil is on here. That's where.
Okay. So depending on which book that you are using, again, I use Bet Rivers. I don't know if you have that or not. Okay, great. So what you want to do is go up top and you'll see what says World Cup, and because it's next to tennis and USA, you'll see where if you just scroll left to right and you click on more bets there. It's in blue. You want to scroll all the way down there, Shano, to game props. Game props. And you'll see here where it says Mexico win to nil. And right there, it is currently at minus 114. Again, we got it in a little bit earlier. So, yeah, man. I like I said, I like it.
I like that too. I like that too. And like you said, like we said about earlier, the elevation there, Mexico's used to playing there. They've been practicing in there already, right? And it's in their home country, which is a huge advantage, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not typical for Mexico to get a World Cup game, right? So for anybody, right? Because it only happens once every 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
The United States has hosted before, but it's been, I don't know, when was the last time the U.S. hosted it?
And 32 years.
32 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So
big
it's
drought.
like a once in a lifetime opportunity to play in front of your home fans there, right? So, so I like Mexico to win that as well.
And I don't see, Shano, I really do not see the U.S. And again, I could be wrong. For my lifetime, I don't see it coming back for a long time. It could, and I hope it does, but maybe it doesn't. So if you're able to do it, guys, please go ahead and check that out.
I think like FIFA and the Olympics, I think they like having it in the United States because we already have the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And especially with soccer, they're trying to build. I mean, it's a huge market here, right? And the Americans have money. So and FIFA wants to make money, right? So if you put it in the United States, even if you gain, I don't know, even gain 2 million followers or new guys watching soccer, that's more than what you had, right? And then, so I think that's why it tends to come back to America more than any other country. But it's all about the dollar, as we always say.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, a little piece of money before we go is 2-0. I mentioned that. It's at plus 450. You got to look at the way that it looks at. Look at the ticket. Remember, the top or in Bet Riverside, it's the one that's on the left. It's going to always be the home team, okay? South Africa, of course, is the away team in this particular exhibition match or World Cup match, whatever you want to refer to it as. So 2-0 at plus 450. I would put a little piece of money on it. It probably goes 1-0. But I really do not see South Africa scoring. If it does, it's going to be a long World Cup, man. I mean, but I really do like the 0-0 at halftime. I think that's a good bet there. Under 2.5, you could take that. I'm not swaying anybody, but it's a minus 150. And if you check out the show tomorrow, Shano, you'll have my parlay pick, okay, of both games tomorrow. But in order to get that, got to tune in to the podcast.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching. Definitely be watching, getting all those bets.
Yeah,
and everybody else should too.
I appreciate that. So a couple guests coming up on the show. We have David Behrman, and of course we have our good friend Lou Finicaro, who's going to be joining us and talking a little UFC Freedom 250. Looking forward to that, my friend. Of course, we're going to be at the United Bowl, so a lot to do, a lot to cover. Yeah, man. It's just Whew. So much to do, so little time, as they say.
Yeah. So super excited to have Lou on again. He'll be on giving his best bets. I'll have mine as well too. I already have a few that I like, but I'll wait for our show with Lou. It's super entertaining card. We talked about it. Feels like the last couple of weeks because it's been such hype building into this because it's like a once in a lifetime event. But yes, super excited to go into the United Bowl on Saturday, and hopefully the defenders can come home with the championship there. It's gonna be tough, but hopefully they can.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for us for tonight. And again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to so let you know when our next show will be. We'll be back, of course, tomorrow with our guest, David Behrman. And he'll talk a little, of course, Shayna, he'll talk a little college baseball with the College Baseball World Series about to start this weekend as well. So looking forward to that. So for Shayna Mack, I, of course, am Joe the Fan. Don't forget, again, to hit that subscribe button. Check out our website, justwinbetsbaby.com, for all of your free winning best bets. Have a good night. Good luck to you. Enjoy the game and the matches. And we'll see you next time. Take care.
See ya.